What in tarnation? Did you guys see this? Wow, on Bittrex exchanges, we saw in a 1 minute candle over $1,000 actually dipping down into the $6,000 range. What could this potentially mean? There are so many things kind of going on in the cryptocurrency space right now, but we need to try to make sense of this in this update. This is only showing on Bittrex's exchange, but you can see here 8,000 down to 6,900 US dollars. We've got to take a look at this in the video. And as well, it's been an absolutely juicy, tutti fruity, crazy day. We need to take a look at some price action. Currently getting a very small bounce at the 0.786 on the daily chart here. But guys, is the bloodbath over? Is there more to come? We need to get in and discuss what's going on with Bitcoin. As well, as discussed in yesterday's video, guys, this was only just the beginning and there was more downside to come, but we really have to jump into this and even take a look on some weekly charts. What does this mean for Bitcoin? Are we in a good position? Bad position? Spill the beans. Start slapping your thighs, my munchers. Let's get into this update. Wow, what is going on, my little men? Welcome back to another exciting, urgent update here very late on Sunday night, beginning of this new weekly candle. We have so much to talk about. We have a lot of things to talk about, guys. We have this massive candle we want to spend a lot of time talking about on Bittrex only, okay? Only on this exchange. And as well, I want to show you guys this. You know, in my last video, I got some hate for saying this was only just the beginning. Primarily, the video was talking about downside, and towards the end of the video, I said there was about a 70 to 80% chance that we were definitely going to see some more downside. And boy, did we. We have a lot of talk in the market today about, Plus token with them dumping on the market. Okay, guys, we have to expect this. We have to expect that there's going to be some manipulation, some big sells going on. But realistically, what position is Bitcoin in currently? And as well, alongside with the TA today, I want to talk about something fundamental in regards to this halving. And honestly, what this really means now that we've seen so much dumpage so close to the halving, I want to kind of share my thoughts on what that might mean because, again, I think a lot of people are expecting we kind of have a slow run up into the halving and then potentially a dump somewhat after the halving, as we've seen kind of similar in the past. But now, what does this mean now that we really have not seen that, and we're not going to see that, okay? What does that mean going into the halving? What does it mean for Bitcoin? Are we in a whole new world filled with possibilities and dreams that can instantly be crushed? Like when your high school sweetheart admits she would rather date literally anyone in the school but you. Wow, the pain is real. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. And as well, if you do want to enter for this ledger giveaway, all you have to do is leave a comment below. And guys, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on the dings, and we can jump into this TA. So guys, I really want to start off here, and we can actually, let's go to the 1 minute chart so you can see how this happened. This is only showing on Bittrex. I just tweeted about it, so we'll bring that up here. But you can see here on the 1 minute chart, guys, what an anomaly here. These are 2 minute candles, okay? Look at this. Now, I'm sure we'll get some kind of update about this tomorrow, but look at this. Trading here about 8,000. You see this come all the way down, okay? Actually go all the way down to 6,997 US dollars and then bounce immediately back up. You can't even see it in my screen right now because it's so small, but look at that. On the 1 minute chart here, guys, absolutely massive. Now, this comes at a very odd time as we've been dumping all day. We've been dumping for the past 2 days. Specifically today has been very bloody. You can see here, opened around 8,900, all the way down to 7,900, okay? Absolutely massive day. So what does this mean as well? What is going on with these markets? What's going on with these exchanges? I mean, these markets are sliding faster than a man walking on a pile of bananas, okay? People are just slipping and sliding everywhere. It's huge. So we really want to delve into the TA, and we actually want to take a look on the weekly chart. What does this mean now? Because, guys, we're clearly below some extremely important indicators, okay? We're clearly below. Is there a balance in store? As well, did the CME gap at 77 get filled now that we went all the way down to 69? We want to talk about that. So as well, I want to mention this. In my last video, I believe it was yesterday, we talked about a bearish downside, okay? We were talking about, yeah, this is probably going to get more nasty. You can see in the thumbnail here, Bitcoin was right around like that $8,900 level yesterday during this video. Okay, we said it's only just the beginning. Must see why it's falling. And in fact, it actually dipped a lot more. Now, can we expect more of that? We're going to get into that in this update. And as well, guys, what exactly does this mean with the price falling like this? So this is something I think is important to mention. I'll play a clip here from my last video. Okay, so let me actually illustrate that better. Let me zoom out so you guys can see it a little bit. So maybe like a shoulder here. They might be pointing this is the head, and then this is another shoulder, and a regular head and shoulder, and then another push down. Basically just saying everyone's going to be talking about this head and shoulders that potentially could be forming here. It's a very ugly pattern. Okay, so I mentioned that in the video. But look at this. This is also very clear here. Again, I said in yesterday's video this is really ugly, but I knew people were going to be talking about it. I knew there was going to be a lot of coverage of this. But take a look here, this head and shoulders, and this, if in fact this is a confirmed head and shoulders, we have not actually reached the target. The target of this actually would be the very low 6,000 US dollar range. This would be absolutely crazy. We really need to buckle in and really just try to understand these markets because things have gotten absolutely bloody. I'll tell you one thing, if we would see a price drop down to $6,000 this week, I will tell you one thing, we would be in for a mega moon bounce unlike any moon bounce you have ever seen. We are already 2 days in to some nice carnage. Okay, 92 down to about 79 and about 8,000 currently. Already over $1,000 down. Let's see here. Already over like 12% over the last 2 days in Bitcoin's price going down. Now it dropped down to 6,000. This would be absolutely insane. Now guys, I am not calling for this necessarily, but that would be over 35%. That would be absolute carnage. People would be going nuts. We would smash through everything important to us. But I want to zoom out and show you something here, guys. Because again, if anything like that would ever happen, you can expect that we would get an immediate, massive rally, even if it was only short term. Even if this market continued to bleed for a long time, we would get a mega bounce very quickly if we saw a move like that. Most importantly here, guys, on the weekly chart, this is absolute carnage. So we did close the weekly chart just recently right here, and you can see right now we're here, guys. So honestly, there has to be somewhat of a bounce soon because of so many key things that have been broken for this market to remain at all good. I definitely think that Dow and S&P and traditional stocks are going to open tomorrow, and it's not going to look good. Okay, so that's one thing we need to keep in mind. I don't think it's going to look good tomorrow for them, but here on the weekly chart, this is absolutely amazing. Okay, we actually have some resistance right here, that 0.786 Fibonacci level, very important. After falling through the golden pocket recently, right around that 86, which we actually just smashed through today. Again, this is trying to provide some support here, a little bit of a bounce here. But guys, we've actually broken through the 21 weekly moving average, as well as the 50-week moving average, both insanely key. Will we do something where we come down to visit the 200-week moving average just like we did back in December of 2018? I sincerely hope not. That was like our lowest, absolute worst case level for a bounce that we've been talking about. This is like our absolute lowest. So again, that actually is right around that 5.5K level. If those prices are a reality, you can expect that if we would ever come down to those levels, it would have to be a very long wick, very similar to what we just saw today. Again, this is only on Bittrex. This is some sort of thing only going on with Bittrex here. But if we would ever come down to the $6,000 or $5,500 level, it would be very quick in my opinion. I think it would be a very big wick like this. Okay, this is exactly what we'd see, and we'd see an immediate bounce back up if that would ever happen. I'm not even saying that will happen, but we do have to be realistic about what we've seen recently. We have to look at actually the 7.5 as a very big level of getting a bounce. Okay, now we've been talking about the 5.5 and the $6,000 level. Doesn't necessarily mean that has to be the level we come down to before we absolutely blast off and pass 10K again. We don't necessarily have to come down to those levels, but I do think we would probably have to come down to maybe that 7.5K level, okay? I don't necessarily think this is the bottom where we're at right now. We're at around 8,000. I think we still at least have probably $500. Okay, guys, and that would fill this gap we've been talking about for a few weeks, right around the 77, and then we could probably see a big bounce. Now, regardless of everything, guys, we need to see a bounce here at some point. You never, in all of these charts, you never see just massive downside without ever getting a bounce. When there's pumps, there's dumps, and when there is dumps, there's pumps. They go hand in hand. If the market gets too oversold too quickly, it blows up, okay? It'll rebound. Now, at some point we do have to see that, but again, I don't necessarily think for right now that we're done with the downside. I think at the very minimum, we should probably come down to 7.5. And one of the reasons I say that as well, guys, is because so many key things have absolutely been exploded and broken through on these trends. I do think we could be back above all-time highs within 2 to 3 months, okay? So even though I'm talking very bearish, this could all be just part of the pattern that plays out. But for right now, I think we definitely need more downside. And another thing that I want to talk about here briefly is that on this chart, you see the halving right around here, you guys. We're getting very close to it. Many people, basically everyone, assumed that we would come into the halving maybe on like a pattern like this, maybe get a little bit of a dump and then continue up, okay, and set some new highs going into like the very end, the summer of 2020, the end of 2020, definitely into 2021. But what we're seeing right now is actually very interesting. Is this the last dump, the last shakeout before we do something very similar to that? Maybe, that could still be the trajectory. This could absolutely still be the trajectory that we see. Again, it could get a lot worse. Maybe we do something like this, something like this, and then do something like over time. But I think what's really interesting now is that because we're not pumping into the halving, okay, I think everyone will agree we're definitely not pumping into the halving right now. Again, there's still some time left, many weeks left before the halving, but it's, everyone could agree we're not pumping right now. in fact were dumping. So I think for one, that's interesting because it kind of tears away all of the presumptions people had about the halving. It won't repeat exactly what all the other halvings have done. At least for right now going into it. I definitely think at this point it's proved that it's not going to be an exact repeat of other halvings. Okay, for example, you can see the last halving, we pumped pretty significantly 450 up to about 800 right before the halving, but you can see it dumped going into the halving pretty much right there, and then it went on a parabolic bull run, and we saw something similar here, pumped from what, $6 to $16, and then crashed going into the halving, but then it did actually pump a lot. So again, I think as the halving comes to an end, basically the second half of 2020 has to be bullish, but right now maybe we're getting the final shakeouts here. Obviously, people talking about the dumping of Plus token on the market. Again, guys, very interesting stuff and things we have to take into account. But again, for right now, to sum it up, guys, to end the video, yes, absolutely, I definitely think there will be some more downside before we do turn around. And it will be very fast and very violent when we do turn around, just like today was very fast and very violent as the dump continued. As well, guys, thanks so much for everyone that's bought the course. We have so many good positive comments and reviews about it so far. All you have to do is enter the coupon code GUGERT at checkout and you get 50% off, guys. This won't last forever, and as time goes on and we add more and more content, the price of the content will raise as well. So get in now while it's cheapest, but again, we are so excited and so happy to be doing that. So much content that we can put so much time into it that I'm not able to do here on YouTube. And as well, the fact that I'm actually charging money for it provides the best incentive for me to continue to do the best work that I can do and provide my most valuable information. So it's just been awesome. Thanks everyone again so much for the kind words. And as well, you can pay in Bitcoin as well. You just have to message me about that. We can do the transaction that way. But guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.